So today I'm off to Graubunden, and in particular the village of Berguen, where I've been before and had wonderful time hiking from Berguen up to Preda along an educational train path that is very interesting, and hopefully the weather won't be so cloudy and foggy as here. The forecast is for it to be very beautiful. That comes from the tourist office, and sometimes they have to be taken with a grain of salt. I'm riding on one of the new FLIRT trains. FLIRT stands for Fast Local Interregional Train, and they're really quite nice. A little bit like riding in a limo as far as the roughness of the ride goes, but this one's going to Lucerne. From Lucerne I took the train in the direction of Zurich, but I got off at Talville and caught this train that you're looking at now, and it is now sitting in Chur, where I just got off. My train that I'm on now is part of the Radische, which is going to go all the way to St. Moritz, but I'm going to get off long before that. But this is the train where you'll see all the beautiful bridges and viaducts and some nice mountains. We're still riding along the flat land of the bottom of the valley, and this scenery looks a whole lot like that at home. It's just like the Sarnetal or the Kondertal, in that there are little villages and small towns all along this way, but you're really getting to the big stuff in a little while. But the train is nice, and the views are pretty, and the weather is spectacular. Shortly after leaving Donat Ems, we begin to slowly but progressively climb. It still looks like farmland, but in the distance you can see some big stuff coming up. First you climb a while, and then things settle out a little bit flat. In another accessory valley, it's sort of like a big set of stair steps to me. There's lots of virgin forest and a lot of civilization along here, but it's beginning to look a little different, especially the background. You get the impression that there are some big mountains not very far away. And when we get to Tiefenkastel, that's when the serious climbing begins, and the serious scenery too. There's my thumb over the lens again. Tussis is the last industrial sized settlement, and this part of the track is along the same way that the Glacier Express comes from St. Moritz to Chur, where it then takes off westward toward Zermatt, Berguen and Zermatt and those places. There is a modern road that parallels this train for most of the way, and then it becomes a smaller two-lane road that goes up and over the Albula Pass, at least in the summertime, and it's still open now, but it won't be for much longer. The climb continues, but it's a gradual climb because this train line does not have any cog mechanism. It was designed to do this all the way without using cogs to pull it up or bring it down. That in itself is quite an engineering achievement, and there are lots of those along this line. Now we're entering another one of those stair-step plateaus that make for some interesting agricultural endeavors. We're now approaching Tiefenkastel, which is really where the serious climbing begins, and the next valley we reach will be that in Berguen. Those white flags are a symbol of the Glacier Express, so you see groups all along here at times waiting to catch the express. All the villages now look more like farming and ski areas, which in the wintertime are sure busy. But right now they're just concentrating on the crops. We're almost to our destination after 4.5 hours. And here we are at Berguen station. You can see a freight train in the background going down the hill, and we've just come up that way. There's no passing except at stations on this line, but the train is leaving now on its way to Zermatt, and it's carrying a little bit of freight, you can see also. This is a main transit way because there are no 18-wheelers going over the Albula Pass. Here you can see both the German and the Romanish spelling and pronunciation of the village. This is one of the monuments to the locomotives that were used earlier, and it was called a crocodile engine. It does look a little bit like a crocodile, but this has been sitting there as a monument for about 20 years. And of course the kids love to climb on it and play engineer, and it's in remarkably good shape for that kind of treatment. And this is on the way down the hill to the village. You can see this is another little flat plateau, stair-stepping its way up from way down below. But we're now officially in some high hills with even higher hills to come. This town is mainly a ski resort, so it's not too busy in early October, and at least until probably early December. Here are some informative and commemorative plaques about the engine, and they have a local train club, as you can see. There's also a plaque with all the dimensions and specifications for this behemoth of an engine. You can see it was in service until 1985. Just getting this thing down the hill from the tracks up above must have been a world-class effort, and I'd hate to see the crane that picks it up and puts it down. Even empty, it's not light. This is part of the main village away from the train station. This hotel, just barely seen and to the right, is only open in the winter. Of course, there are lots of Wanderweg signs. There are hiking paths and Wanderwegs and bike paths all over this landscape. Further on, we'll cross a bridge over a branch of the Albula River and begin to enter the main part of the small town. Otherwise, it looks pretty much the same as any Swiss small town. And here is going to be my home for the next 2 nights, and the rest is yet to come in part 2.